Hello, everyone. We are here on the 7th out of 10 Meet the Filmmakers broadcasts live from our YouTube channel. The Socially Relevant Film Festival's 13th annual edition is kicking off in just a little over 1 week with a grand opening, red carpet, opening ceremony, and a feature film called The Last Wish, which is a Finnish-Spanish co-production. And we have an actor, the main character of the film, Eric Frances, coming all the way from Madrid. And I will be there as a support as well, because I'm also playing one of the leads in the film. Ooh. We are all looking forward to this amazing opportunity. Many filmmakers will be present. Some of them are coming from different parts of the United States. Some are flying in. Some are from the United States, but are in Buenos Aires now or other places. And they will come in and we will have a blast. So without further, I'll tell you a little bit more about the film festival as we go along. But without further ado, let me bring on the filmmakers who are in the studio, and we will be chatting to them.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, hola, from Buenos Aires. Awkward pause.
We were all cut off. I don't know what happened. So we have one more person who has joined us belatedly with retard. And
I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. Please excuse me for my delay.
I don't even hear you. We didn't do a sound check.
You don't hear me now?
I can hear you now. And we have one other filmmaker who is also late.
Sorry. We are still working.
That's fine. We are forgiven. So
still working.
The way it works is we just go one quick round, and each one of you will introduce themselves, say who they are, what the title of their film is, but don't go in depth describing it frame by frame from beginning to end.
Okay.
Just tell us in a couple of words what it is about, and let your colleagues have a chance. When everyone has had that one first intro, we will then go in depth and talk about each film. So who wants to be the first person to jump in?
I can jump in. Go ahead, Peter. I saw your hand.
Okay, go, Jared. No, you're full screen. Go, man.
Okay. I am the director of Say Her. I'm Jared Kirchheimer. And Say Her tells the story of a mentally ill weightlifter that finds redemption coaching a young girl to the Olympic Games.
Great.
That's great. Yeah, perfect short intro. Oh, one other thing which I didn't get a chance to tell you because everybody was not here at the same time. Please, when you are not speaking, mute your mic because there's a lot of reverb from left and right that floats in. Okay, who's next? Yes, there we go, Peter.
Hi. I'm Peter Crosby, Peter Sherman Crosby, because there's so many Peter Crosbys in the world. My film is Oh, My Beautiful Country, Journey to the West. It takes an American point of view of living in China, looking back at the USA, wondering what is going on, and then traveling across the country to affirm that America, in fact, is beautiful, is my country, is my home, is beautiful.
Yes. Nature-wise, it certainly is beautiful. I'm not talking about the other aspects. Okay, who's next?
Okay, I can go on. So my name is Guillaume. I directed a film called Everyone Calls Me Mike. It's a French film. It's the story about a young couple with a kid who decide to go on a sailing boat doing a circumnavigation. And the story starts when they arrive in Djibouti. where they meet a young taxi driver who helps them to repair their boat. And he asks them to go sail with them and leave, as they do actually as well, and to other things, of another future. And so they start sailing together and in the Aden Gulf, and that's where
it starts.
it starts.
Yes, and we have Samir.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't hear you. You're muted.
Now
Yes,
you can hear
now
me.
we can
Good.
hear you.
Okay. My name is Samir. I'm born in Baghdad. I grew up in Switzerland. My film is called by the title The Miraculous Transformation of the Working Class into Foreigners. And as the title already gives the theme, it's a story of the Italian migrants in the 60s and 70s and how they changed this country in Switzerland. And beside of that, I'm telling also my personal story as a migrant boy, how I adapted to become Italian.
Yeah, that is very, very interesting. But the film is also a Swiss.
It was a Swiss-Italian co-production, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, we have great films here. So, my first important question, this was just like the intro. The important question is, and we don't need to go in any particular order, whoever feels like jumping in can, is why did you feel this story was so important to tell? And how did the idea come to you? Where did it all start? There you go.
So I spent 4 years in China during the pandemic, and I watched the United States from afar suffer during COVID, have January 6th, have lots of anti-Asian hate and violence, and couldn't recognize my country anymore. So when I came home in the fall of 2021, I wanted to understand what the F is going on really. I bought a van and traveled across the United States, and I went to places that made me feel uncomfortable. Trump rallies, rodeos, motorcycle rallies, places that I, as a New Yorker, San Francisco, overseas guy, would not normally go, to affirm my belief that America indeed is beautiful, inside and out. The heart and soul of our country is beautiful, is strong, is generous, despite what's going on right now, because that, to me, is an aberration. So it's an affirming film about the United States spirit, heart, and soul.
It's important because then it's very important for some Americans who have lost that faith to regain it and believe in our country, in ourselves. Because if we don't do that, the other side of the coin is, make us really feel outsiders and not belonging, and it's really bad overall. The whole world is going in that direction, so it's not like just the United States. All right, who else? Yes.
Okay, I'm unmuted, I believe. I'm really thrilled to get Say Her out there. One of the reasons we wanted to make the movie is because Team USA weightlifting they're gearing up for their best performance in the history of the Olympics at the LA 2028 Games. And it's such an amazing, complex sport that not a lot of people know about. And such wonderful people with a lot of heart and really just good qualities that are involved in the sport. And we tied it to an important theme of mentoring. The reason I tied that into the film is I'm actually a professional civil engineer, and I worked for many years mental health problems and a lot of crime. And I saw the need for a massive, massive mentoring effort, especially in our in the United States.
Yeah, yeah, something is going on, and the connection keeps getting cut. Are you hearing me?
For me?
Yeah, yeah, for Jared.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can. But I for some a
Okay, let me
moment.
try. Okay, go ahead with someone else. I'll try a
Yeah,
different internet. Okay,
yeah.
thanks.
All right.
Okay.
And who would like to tell us why they made the film and why this was an important story to tell?
I can do that.
Yes.
You know that we have in Europe an uprising of the far-right racist policy and Switzerland, funnily enough, was one of the avant-garde places where they really came up. And I'm living in a very progressive liberal bubble, and I felt that the last 20 years, all my original Swiss friends don't know really what's going on and how we are living in a segregated world nowadays. They don't know a lot about the migrants and their situation. And and I thought I have to tell the story, the history of the migration, because people are believing that it happened, you know, like a tempest or something, you know, natural. And I had really the idea to retell the story, how the Marshall Plan in the 50s created Europe new, how that was also a plan to build up a new society against the Eastern communist countries, and how this profound institutionalized racism was the upbringing of this new right of today, and why we are confronted with that, and especially since a lot of people forgot that the Social Democrats and the trade unions in the 60s until the 70s were holding also a very, very racist policy against the migrants. So I had to recapitulate that and to remind people where it came from and why we are living now in such a wonderful multicultural society in Switzerland, but nevertheless, everybody has forgotten how it came up.
Yeah, it's very interesting to go back and do the historical overview, not because we want to dwell in the past, but because to understand what's going on today, you do need to understand how today was produced. And of course, we can see what's going on in the Middle East. And a lot of people think it all started on October 7. And I'm like, come on, guys, you know. The
Yeah.
world was not created on October 7. It
Yeah.
was created way before that. And for us to understand today, we need to go back to yesterday.
Yeah.
So your film is very, very important because it combines two very important elements, the working class and the migrants. And a lot of times there's a huge confusion because they merge. Who is a migrant is, and in France it was the same situation in the 50s when all the Algerian workers came and established themselves in France. You have the same example everywhere, and the United States is not an exception, with all the people coming legal or illegal. They all come at the beginning and they start as workers, working class. They get
That's
into
it.
factories, they work and keep up their families, they make a living and so on. And before you know it, they are targeted not because of class, but also because of origin and ethnicity.
Yeah.
So your film, the title is like,
You know the titles of Lina Wertmüller, they were also very long titles,
Right,
you know?
right. It's so funny. A filmmaker, a friend filmmaker, actually, Pelesyan, who is a very
Yeah,
famous Armenian documentary
yeah.
filmmaker, once told me, don't put a long title because people will read the title and they think they know what the film is about.
All right.
They don't want to
Okay.
come anymore, you know.
I promise you next time I will call it Bella Ciao.
Bella Ciao is beautiful. What a
Yeah.
beautiful title. And again, those who know history will know what Bella
Yeah.
Ciao means and
Means, yeah.
assume that, okay, I know what this film is all about.
Yeah.
All right, let's see who else wants to tell us why they were dying to tell the story.
So I guess it's my turn. Well, my film was born out sea, basically, because I sailed from in the Aden Gulf out of the Somalian coast and things like that. And I heard about a story about a French people who had been taken hostage by Somalian pirates, and there had been other cases. They were not the only one. But what interested me about those people is that um, somehow they didn't know where they were going to. They didn't know they got caught in 2008, 2009, and what I wanted to first of all, I had sailed through there, so for me it was obvious. But also, I'm in feature films. I've been doing that for a long time. But what I thought was really interesting is why those people, those young French people, who were nice, progressive people, um, what why they did go there, although everybody were telling them not to go, and why they thought that they were that free. They were so, and they didn't realize the what my films tells is what they carried with them. It's a film. The political part of the film is really about post-colonialism, how those young, nice French people just hit the wall of a thing that is much bigger than them, and that they didn't understand what they were carrying with them, and so that's the idea. How those two, the film starts with a map, and it starts with a little map of France, and the camera, zooms out as the line of their travel goes, and we see the gigantic African continent. It's just so big. It's so big, bigger than them, and so they hit that wall, and that's that's voilà.
Yeah,
That's
it's quite interesting because all of these films have something of exploration in them. One is exploring into the human soul or capacity or physical capacities with Say Her. The other one is talking about society and the way they look at you and where you are placed. And then we have this capacity of not knowing really what you are confronting and the proportions of what it is. Like France, exactly. I mean, the whole world thinks, we all think, every country thinks they are the center of the world. And then until they are confronted with another country, and then they know that, oh, wait a minute, I am not alone on this planet. So that's the main problem of humanity, that we don't understand that we are not alone. And right now, the United States thinks it's alone and it can run everybody else's lives. So that is sad, very, very sad. So now we are talking about two films here, which are narrative and 2 films which are documentaries. And the documentary films are both coming out from a personal story, expanding into something that is not personal, which is what I look for when we are doing the festival. We always try to focus on films that, yes, of course, it has to be a personal story so that it's real and genuine and coming from a real true place. But at the same time, if it only stays on the personal and the problems that person is running into, then it becomes very limited and not social, which is what we are, the socially relevant, not personally relevant film festival. So, and the 2 narratives are interesting for me because now, as an actor myself, I have to focus on the actors in the films. And Guillaume, your actor just was Césarée.
Yes.
So tell us about that. The main character in Guillaume's film.
Yeah, one of Pierre Lotin. Yeah, just got the César for best supporting actor. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
And
And we didn't put your title of your film because you guys joined in late. So I'm going
I'm
to
sorry.
do it now. Everyone calls me Mike. So
Yeah, it's a long title.
Yes. Well, how about Samir? Can we put it, or maybe put the miraculous,
Miraculous transformation of the working class.
transformation? We're just going to put the miraculous transformation. It won't even take that. The miraculous. The miraculous. We'll just put it the miraculous.
You see,
Well, there is a limit
you've been censored.
how many letters I can put. So, Philippe, he got a César.
Pierre Lotin, yeah, he got to
Pierre.
César for he's since he shot he's done the film with us. He has become a really a very looked. I mean, people are after him. You know, he's in a lot of films, and he's a very interesting actor. He's very particular because he works really in a very instinctive way. Difficult to work because he doesn't know his lines. But
Wow, that is terrible.
But he's really excellent, and I'm very happy because in my film we did something together that he has not done very much elsewhere because he's on the outside he's a very very masculine guy, very even a little bit macho sometimes. He's got tattoos everywhere. He's got tattoos of a Kalashnikov, and he's really that kind of guy. But very he's not a MAGA at all. So we had to actually for the film, and my character Jean in the film is the skipper, and is the opposite of that guy. He's a very sensitive guy in the end.
Yeah.
He's actually quite feminine, and he has, if we can say that. And so the fact is that I had seen images of him playing the piano before I casted him, and I thought he was a very sensitive man. He's very, very sensitive, and so I had to work that with him, although he didn't really want to. And but in fact, he's quite beautiful in film.
Yeah, it's very interesting because as an actor, I'm always interested to find out how filmmakers look to penetrate into actors. And the casting process in the United States, needless to say, has come to some point which is completely ridiculous. Right now, I mean, I had to audition for something, for a television thing 2 days ago, and it's like a one-liner. And I said to my agent, please, I have tons of reel on my website. I have huge number of credits on IMDb. If they think this face corresponds to the character they are casting, they should just make an offer.
Yes.
It's ridiculous to do a self-tape to say one line.
One line. My goodness.
I mean, come on. It reflects on their own insecurity.
Yeah.
They are so insecure about their own vision and what an actor can do and cannot do that they want to see it. And also, let's say they saw it and you got cast. When you go, they want you to do exactly the same as you did on your self-tape.
Yeah.
You cannot
Not
act.
much creativity there. Yeah.
It's terrible. That's why I prefer to work with European films. And the opening night film you're going to come and see, hopefully, whoever is going to be in town, is a Finnish-Spanish co-production in which I play the two female roles. So, so it's exciting. And I didn't even audition for it or self-tape for it. I mean, it's ridiculous as anything. However, after 180 self-tapes over the past 3 years, I did get a couple of roles. One for television, which was The Better Sister, and which is one of the most top television series now. It made 1.5 billion viewers worldwide in the first 2 weeks that it came out, which is unbelievable. And the other one is Absolute Dominion by Lexi Alexander, a Palestinian-German filmmaker. But for that one, I also had a callback like online. So, I mean, auditioning online is fine, except it's just not, thing. And I hate the one I hate most. If casting directors are watching, they're going to say, we'll never call her again. The one I hate most is, we want to see a full body shot. What are you going to do with my body? This is the frame. Here is the frame. Anyway, the ridiculousness of our profession. And Jared, tell me, also Guillaume, we want to talk about your actress, not just your actor.
Yes.
Because your actress is attracting quite a lot of attention.
Yeah, Daphne Patakia is also a pretty well-known actress in France now. Well, I was very lucky to get them. The casting process went with up and downs. I had Anaïs de Moustier before that, who was very top well-known, and then she left. It always goes like that. You just a month before shooting, suddenly you have nobody anymore. So, but it's the way. But so I was very lucky because Daphne has a very it's Billy Wilder who used to say, a film is what 99% your casting. Okay, so Daphne, she has a very particular personality because she did Paul Verhoeven's film about the witches in the religious his last film actually. So so she's an actress who goes really, she's very frontal. She goes ahead. She's very like that. She goes out there. Thanks a lot. And so it printed something on the character itself, and she is actually a very strong female character in the film. She's really very, very strong, and it's also part of the film. It's underlying. I mean, it's not underlying, but it's quite feminist in some way because she's the strong character. She's really, she's the one who kills actually.
In the festival with the narrative features, we also have the jury choose best actor, best actress.
Okay.
So,
And also I want to talk about Abdirizak Mohamed, because there are
yeah.
3 main actors. And so Abdirizak Mohamed, it's a long story, but I was so lucky to find him. Abdirizak is actually a Somalian refugee. He flew away Mogadishu when he was 19, crossed Kenya, Sudan. He got stuck in the Libyan desert, nearly died there. So he went all the way Tripoli, ended up in Malta, and so when I met him, he was in France for quite a while already. He was working in a Peugeot factory, doing 3.8s, and he's been really a major thing for me in the film, because he's a
For
wonderful actor.
for narratives, actors are very important, but for documentaries, protagonists are also very important. So maybe before we come to Jared, we'll get a chance to hear Peter and Samir tell us a little bit about their protagonist. How do you focus the film on a character, on a person? Because it can't be about a group. It can't be about a mass of people.
I'm
Yes.
sorry. The last sentence triggered me, Peter. I'm sorry. The last sentence. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Your last phrase triggered me, because in my film I have really a lot of protagonists, because I wanted really to have let's say a representation in a way of the real workers, and they should tell their own story. So I had really I did a kind of casting with real old workers. That was about 100 interviews, and the funny thing was that more than the half of them at the end didn't want to appear in the movie. 2 reasons. One was, I have already told you that, and it's hurting me too much to talk about this time of racism I was confronted in my life, and exclusion, and all that traumatic situations. And the other was also very funny. Some of them told me, I don't want to talk about the bad old times, because I'm now fine in Switzerland. I don't want to talk about the bad times. And the side effect of it was also that a lot of second generation migrant kids which grew up in Switzerland with their parents, when they came to watch the movie, they were surprised to hear all these really bad old stories, and they were surprised that their parents never told them about. And I had to tell them, I mean, you have to understand your parents. They wanted to cover you, they wanted to please you. They didn't want it to, hurt you every day,
With their story, with their, This is interesting, because also there is a danger in that if the protagonists who are not actors, who cannot reproduce a certain moment, when they tell the story, they feel like it's already gone. They've told
exposed.
it.
Yeah, but in the same time they feel exposed, and that's
And they
something,
feel exposed. Exactly.
Yeah.
And let's say you interviewed them on the side on sound only, or recorded their stories, but now you want them on camera. It's going to be like a challenge. So a lot of the documentary filmmakers don't let their protagonists speak a lot. They just want to know the story, what it is about, and they kind of preserve them, save them for on camera.
Yeah, that's true.
So
But
that it's more spontaneous.
but in the first place, I had to know what
you have to know what the story is. Yeah. And Peter, what about you? You're the protagonist.
Protagonist or antagonist, it's not clear, but it is. It's my exploration of American character, and I'm coming from a perspective of being outside America, having the heart of an American, but watching this, pardon my French, shit show, and coming to then rediscover and illustrate the good things in America and some of the misperceptions, some of the trends in politics. I knew nothing about Christian nationalism before this and literally stumbled into that world. And so that's one place where I spent time trying to illustrate or trying to educate myself as the protagonist, antagonist, and to share what I was learning. Nora, this is the first of 4 films because I spent a year on the road meeting different people all across the country. And so I have different themes, there's different chapters. And this is really it's 54 minutes. And this is the first of 4 films getting us up to this is the East Coast, excuse me. And then traveling west, journey to the west. There's a theme because I was coming from China. There's a theme in going west that has to do with Chinese American history, Chinatowns, dragon boating with Chinese Americans. And so it's expanding and drawing the line from China to Chinese Americans as kind of a baseline or a test case or a point of view that as a as a middle class old white guy was a great experience for me because I got to feel what it was like to be an outsider because I was an outsider in that community of Chinese Americans, which, I know a lot about, but I'm still an outsider. So anyway, it's when we put ourselves in places of discomfort and even a little scary, that's what's exciting for me, right? That risk for me is the reward, right? The journey is the destination.
That's the fun of documentary filmmaking. A lot of times also you don't know what it's going to end up looking like because you're there, you have to capture the moment, you have to capture the stories. And then when you get into the editing room, you go, oh my God, I hadn't noticed this. And here it is. Look, it can become the core of what I'm trying to say. Jared, before we come to you, let me just read a wonderful comment here from Michael Clays, who is a festival team member and on our board. And he says, appreciate all of you sharing your films with the festival, as well as your time today, sharing your insights here. Yes, thank you, Michael. This is so important, and I keep saying this is a Filmmakers Film Festival because where we would be without films, We could do a festival, cooking or whatever, or but certainly not about films. Okay, Jared, tell us about your casting process and how you chose your actors.
Thank you. So actually, I played the lead in the film Clay, and I wasn't anticipating doing that, but it turned out that it was the best decision because a lot of the story, the pain of the main character, Clay, comes from growing up an orphan at the Mercy Home for Boys and Girls, which is actually a real wonderful organization in Chicago that's helped a lot of kids since the late 1880s. And also seeing a lot of gun violence on the street caused a lot of mental health issues for Clay. So because as a civil engineer, I worked in a lot of the most troubled neighborhoods in Chicago. I saw a lot of painful things. And I want to say before I go into this is the movie's really about joy, and it's about changing the world so that kids don't have to grow up in areas where they're seeing people shot every day. And that's the reason we made it. So it's all about joy, even though some of the topics in the film are painful. So like some of the things I saw on the street, I would be working a construction job, and I would see a plywood sign on a tree that says "Stop killing each other." I would see tens of thousands of drug needles on the ground from people suffering from addiction. I would see shootings. I would see crime, and It's when you think about it, how is a child supposed to grow up to have a job and a normal life? And many of them do, and they're so strong and amazing that they can, but there's a lot that fall through the cracks and go through the prison system, because how are you supposed to react when you see these things every day happening where you live? So because I had all that experience of seeing that and being in those neighborhoods and seeing the shootings and had so much filled inside of me, I felt like it was the best situation for me to play that character, since I could draw so much from that experience. And then I was able to cast our lead, Becca Morello. She's our female lead, who's really the heart of the movie. And I actually got her through backstage, which is typical in our industry. And she just, not only did she bring such a wonderful, real performance to the movie, she was a sounding board for a lot of the subject matter of the film, which is not light, it's heavy. And she really helped with some dialogue tweaks. And she was just a wonderful partner, not just as a performer, but in the filmmaking process, which was wonderful.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Everything here is coming from a personal experience point of view. Guillaume with the sailing, Jared with what he has experienced as a child and growing up, Samir as a migrant himself, and Peter as a person who crossed China on bicycle. And now he's reversing the operation. We know him because in the past he has collaborated with the festival and been on a panel what we were having. We used to have many interesting industry panels, and then eventually after COVID, a lot of things changed. We do these panels and industry meetings for the filmmakers, obviously. And we would have like 40, 50 people signed up, and then 10 people would show up because they were free. We would do them for free. You don't have to pay. If they had paid ahead of time, then they would have made sure to appear, because they would have felt like I'm wasting my money. But we would make all this effort, and then 10 filmmakers would show up. And then in the end, we said, you know what? Let's focus on the films and the screenings. And when we did it when in 2020 and 2021, we went online, we did do some of these workshops online, but it's not the same as being in the room and networking with people and really communicating. So we felt, okay, we are a film festival. Let's focus on the films and the networking that comes out of that. So next question, and you can answer in any way order you like. How did you come to the Socially Relevant Film Festival? What made you choose to screen with us?
Good question. Good question. I believe I have heard from your festival years ago because of, the title, something social relevant. So I thought, yeah, that sounds good to me for a festival, because I believe that films should have a really relevant impact to society. Otherwise, I would not do films, honestly. So I don't know. I just when we finished my documentary and we had the premiere at Locarno Film Festival, all this bullshit is nice, but at the end I was telling my distributor, look at festivals which I really could get in contact with real people, with also the filmmakers, and not only, the superficial bullshit stuff, which it's okay, but I mean, it's in a certain age, it's not anymore.
Place, but we actually take pride in the fact that we don't go to the big film festivals and fish out the films that are already doing well, that are already getting a lot of spotlight or attention, because fine, those films are one way or another finding their way, but we go with films that otherwise would not be seen. We go with films that are submitted to us through our platforms. In this case, we work with Film Freeway. And that if we didn't offer that opportunity, these films could go completely unnoticed. So that is part of what we pride ourselves with. So hopefully we are succeeding in that. Yes, Peter.
So, excuse me. Because I'd been part of the Socially Relevant Film Festival years ago, I've followed the progress. But really it has to do with the audience, the context of this frame of socially relevant attracts a particular audience, which, you know, these days DEI in the United States, diversity, equity, and inclusion is, you know, it's been used as an epithet. It's been used as a negative. And I think for many of us, we come from a perspective where diversity of experience, of backgrounds, of race, creed, color is an important contribution to our lives. And so for me, I want to be in a place where that's accepted, where it's actually heralded, it's celebrated, that diversity is important. The other part of this is it's in New York, right? It's in New York City. And I've lived in New York City off and on for 18 years, have lots of friends. This is where I started being a documentary filmmaker. And so it's like a coming home to show my world premiere of this in New York City, lots of friends. So I'm so excited, Nora. Thank you for including me.
Thank you. We were actually having this conversation with another group the other day, and we felt, I felt the need to specify that why is it called socially relevant and not the social justice, for example, or Justice and Peace Film Festival, or Human Rights Film Festival, or things like that. Because I feel those epithets, which there exist, there are film festivals that deal with those things, are a little more hardcore. And that's not what we are aiming for. We're not aiming to be a political entity and make a big splash or anything like that. The idea here is to tell human interest stories. Stories about human beings, about real life situations that oftentimes get glided over and forgotten in favor of big explosions and special effects and, you know, things that don't necessarily, that siphon a lot of money, too much money, with which you could have made 10 socially relevant films and do not necessarily improve on our lives. So hopefully the 800 films from 40 countries that we have screened to date, I was counting the other day and I was
800.
Like, wow, bravo, not sleeping all these nights has already paid off, you know. It's unbelievable how fast it goes. It's been 13 years of hard work, but I'm very, very proud of it. And I'm not alone. We have a team. We have a team of people who work with us, like Michael, for example, who is always there. And I think I feel I see another team member, Marie, who's joining us as well. And it's really important that we feel like this is our baby and we are nurturing it to make the voices of the voiceless heard somewhere. In this case, it happens to be New York. And Jared, we want to hear from you.
Voice to the voice, voice to the voiceless. That's what hit it on the head for us. That's actually part of our marketing campaign, because we're talking about a lot of voiceless voices. Mental health is not talked about a lot, and it needs to be. The sport of weightlifting is this unsung hero sport, which is about to explode onto the world in LA 2028 at the Olympics. And mentoring at-risk youth is such an important thing that doesn't get talked about. And so I was excited about that when I saw your festival, and also talking about violence without showing gratuitous violence. We talk about it in the film, but we don't show any of it. And the reason we did that is it's not just a production value thing. It is because we're trying to make folks understand that haven't lived in an area that's so plagued by violence, how these children, a lot of them can grow up and go through the prison system and go through all this mental health stuff and have all this turmoil. It's something we have to address. We have to flood these neighborhoods with so much more mental health care and so much more mentoring and so much more sports facilities and arts facilities so that they have all these outlets to be able to handle all the stress. And so that's what attracted us so much to your festival. So thank you so much for what you're doing.
Thank you. We are, let's try to see who is joining from where. Where are you right now, Jared?
I'm in Chicago. That's where we shot the movie. Yeah.
Peter is in Buenos Aires. And Guillaume is in Paris. Is that right?
No, I'm in south of France now.
You're in south of France. Lucky you.
Yeah.
Take us with you.
Well, I would
south of France.
I'm actually trimming the trees, the olive trees of my father.
Which is
Nice.
where?
It's in near, let's say it's an hour away from Marseille.
Wow, that must be beautiful.
It is very beautiful.
And Samir, you are?
In Zurich. It's nice little beautiful little city between green hills, a lake, and a river. And
I always think of Switzerland as manicured and
yes,
very
manicured,
well clean cut.
And that's why we got now Google, Meta, and all these companies now here in Zurich. So in the city they are talking now English, but they, it's English is, and all these people, they are not called migrants, they are called expats.
Oh yes. Expats or migrant, what do you call it? Like
no, I mean, I'm honestly, we feel now that they are different kind of migrants. They are much better than
interesting.
But this kind of migrants, they like the style of the old migrants because they going to the they are now all in the neighborhood of the old Italian migrant working class neighborhood. So
yeah. So my final question, it leaves us a little bit of time. Whoever wants to answer, if you don't want to talk about it, that's fine too. What is your next project?
I have to go to cook, so I'm for my family. Is that okay? So
yes,
I will.
So your next project is to go and cook for your family.
And so my next project is I'm working also in fiction. So my next project is about the 3 years where James Baldwin were staying in Switzerland in a small, tiny little village up in the Swiss mountains. And you are asking why he went there, because he had a Swiss lover, a tall blonde guy, which for real. And this guy had a chalet in Switzerland. And so they landed up in a tiny, tiny little village up in the mountains. There he wrote his first novel. Call it From the Mountains, something like that, and also the important essay Stranger in the Village. So
very interesting. Maybe that's the theme for your next film.
Yes, I'm working. I have already a scenario for a fiction film because nobody's. There are no witnesses anymore. It's too long away.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Well, Abdirisak Mohamed and I have written a film together that we're going to direct together. that is basically yeah. For me, it's obvious. It's based on mostly his life, and it's a very beautiful story that starts in Mogadishu and ends up in Mogadishu actually, but all the way. And the idea is to not only telling about why he left and what was his journey, is also a lot about his life in France when he arrived.
Oh,
And
great.
to go further away than the usual refugee story. And
Great.
and it's a very uplifting story, actually. Very
Nice.
uplifting.
Yes. Peter, the series.
So this is the first of 4 films, and
Yeah.
this whole series is a big scouting trip for the real purpose, which is bringing Chinese bicyclists to America to ride across America. So it's a long, involved process that politically right now, bringing Chinese bicyclists is not going to happen until, let's just say, the environment in America
Yes.
changes. So
Yeah.
meanwhile, the scouting trip continues.
That's cool. And Jared.
I co-wrote a story called Open Roads. It's another dramatic feature. Actually, one of the writers is Andy Lauer, who was one of the stars of Caroline in the City in the 90s. It was a really funny show. He's a great actor and a wonderful director also. And we co-wrote it with another friend of ours that tragically passed young. But we've had it in development for a while, but we're excited about it. And it basically tells the story of 2 young boys growing up on the south side of Chicago. It has some similar themes to Say Her. And one of them takes the fall for a minor criminal act that they both did, and he gets to return the favor later in life when the one gets out of jail for serving the time. So it's kind of another redemption story and between 2 friends that grew up in a tough neighborhood.
Interesting. All these interesting projects coming up. I hope they're coming to our festival next at some point. All right, we have a couple more minutes left, and one minute actually. If anybody is dying to say something and didn't get a chance, this is your chance.
I'm pleasure to be with you. That's
Thank you,
I'm
Nora.
so happy.
See you next week, Nora.
Yes, thank you. Is everybody coming? Jared, I know you are.
Yes.
Peter, Samir?
Yeah.
I do have they rejected my ESTA.
What?
Yeah, I'm trying to get the problem is it was also the last time when Trump was in charge that I had an invitation of MoMA and they refused to give me a visa because I was born in Baghdad.
I mean, my sister-in-law was born in Baghdad, and she lives here. So
yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I have to wait. I will keep you posted. I mean,
help if we send you an invitation letter.
I have already sent to the ambassador your invitation on the mail. So, but I don't know what's going on. I mean, yeah.
Wow. And Guillaume, you're coming.
I'm coming, and actually Abdirissak, who wanted to come with me, is not coming either.
Oh,
because
wow.
he's been back to Somalia within 5 years, and he's actually too afraid. I'll tell you the truth.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Thank you, Nora, for everything that you do.
So much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to end the stream, but we can chat a little longer if you